face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Today is a brand new day, 1st January 2026. The world has said goodbye to 2025 and welcomed the new year with dazzling celebrations as fireworks lit up the sky and thousands gathered in cities around the world to celebrate. The year 2025 has been a crucial year for Africa, with the continent achieving remarkable progress in the economic, political and social sectors. Yet Africa has also been tested by significant challenges which are still felt today, and it requires exceptional efforts to overcome them. We hope that the new year will bring new hope for Africa and its people and usher in a new era of prosperity and peace. Let's take a look at how countries around the world welcomed the new year. You're watching Pulse of Africa News. I'm your host, Gamachisa Mandida. I'll be presenting the main stories of the hour. Stay tuned as we'll start with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has doubled its budget for digital development in 2026, allocating 61 billion CFA francs, equivalent to 109.4 million US dollars, up from about 30.0 billion CFA francs in 2025. The budget was approved by the Ministry of Digital Transition during a recent Administrative Council meeting. The 2026 plan includes 156 activities aimed at expanding digital access nationwide. Key projects include laying 270 kilometers of optical fiber, extending mobile and high-speed internet to 750 white zones with no network coverage, and setting up mini data centers. The government also plans to digitize 100 public services and build citizen service centers. In 2025, the ministry expanded the national fiber network to more than 11,000 kilometers and connected dozens of public buildings. It also rolled out digital platforms in government offices, trained young people in IT skills, recruited new specialists, and launched local service centers to improve access to postal and digital services. The budget increase reflects the government's ambition to use digital technology to drive development in public administration, education, health, trade, and agriculture. Officials say 12 priority digital projects have been identified to support economic and social growth through 2030. Despite these efforts, Burkina Faso still faces major challenges. Internet penetration stood at just 17% in 2023, while the country ranks near the bottom globally on the UN's e-government index. Large gaps remain in network coverage, cybersecurity skills, and technical capacity, especially in rural areas. Independent power producers, IPPs, are playing a growing role in Africa's electricity expansion as governments open power markets and attract private investment. The African Energy Chamber projects that electricity demand across the continent will reach 2,291 terawatt-hours by 2050, almost double the current levels. In Kenya, new energy regulations allow IPPs to sell power directly to multiple buyers through open grid access. This has helped unlock private funding, including a $311 million public-private partnership to build and operate new high-voltage transmission lines. Mauritania has fully privatized power generation, making all projects the responsibility of private investors. Recent reforms have already led to a $300 million privately financed solar wind power project, reducing pressure on public finances. South Africa continues to expand private participation through competitive bidding under its renewable energy program. So far, more than 10.7 gigawatts of power capacity has been secured from 145 IPP projects. In Tunisia, a World Bank-backed program is supporting reforms to attract private investment into renewables. The country aims to mobilize $2.8 billion for new solar and wind projects by 2028, with IPPs at the center of its energy transition.
New roads, hotels, and services are welcoming visitors to Ethiopia's historic sites and natural wonders. Tourism creates jobs and celebrates our culture. Investing in visitors invests in our future.
Moving to South Africa, South Africa has announced a 1 billion rand investment to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles (EVs) with the goal of achieving a fully electric vehicle market by 2035. The move aligns with global climate goals and aims to cut carbon emissions while modernizing the country's transport system. The investment is expected to boost local EV manufacturing, attract private sector participation, and create new jobs across the automotive value chain. Government officials say the program will position South Africa as a competitive player in the global electric vehicle industry. A key focus of the plan is infrastructure development, including the rollout of charging stations and upgrades to the national power grid. These measures are seen as a critical supporting the growing number of EVs and ensuring reliable access to charging nationwide. While challenges remain, such as high vehicle costs and limited public awareness, authorities see major opportunities in skills development, technology, innovation and green industrial growth. Local production of vehicles and batteries is expected to help reduce costs over time. Industry experts say South Africa's EV push could serve as a model for other African countries seeking to balance economic growth with environmental responsibility, marking a major step toward a cleaner and more sustainable transport future. Tunisia's economy showed only weak improvement in 2025, falling short of expectations for a real recovery. Growth is expected at about 2.6%, which is higher than in 2024, but still too low to reduce unemployment, restore purchasing power, or boost investment. Much of the stability seen this year came from temporary factors. Good weather helped agriculture, tourism returned close to pre-COVID levels, and money sent home by Tunisians abroad supported household homes. These factors acted as a cushion rather than sign of deep economic change. The economy remains heavily dependent on traditional sectors that create limited value. This highlights Tunisia's failure to diversify and start a new growth cycle. Domestic demand is still weak and private investors remain cautious due to regulatory uncertainty and poor economic visibility. Lower inflation and interest rate cuts by the central bank provided some relief, but their impact has been limited. Gains from higher phosphate production and increased foreign investment have not been enough to offset years of poor performance. Looking ahead to 2026, the government has set higher growth targets under its new development plan. However, without strong and clear economic reforms, Tunisia risks remaining stuck in slow growth and continued social pressure. Now to business news. South Africa's rand closed 2025 nearly 13% stronger against the US dollar, marking its best annual performance since 2009 and its first yearly gain since 2019, helped by broad dollar weakness. The currency benefited from improved fiscal fiscal discipline, contained inflation and a strong rally in previous metals with gold and platinum, key exports surging during the year. The US dollar fell about 9% against major currencies amid expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts, fiscal concerns and political uncertainty, boosting demand for gold, which hit record highs above $4,000 an ounce. Despite domestic political tensions under South Africa's coalition government, investor confidence improved after the country exited the FATF grey list, received a credit rating upgrade from S&P and adjusted its inflation target. Analysts expect the rand to remain resilient in 2026, with economists forecasting further gains if supportive global and domestic conditions persist. Moving to the World Bank. The World Bank has urged developing countries to take a stronger role in setting global trade standards, warning that current rules increasingly benefit rich countries and large multinational firms. In its World Development Report 2025, the bank set standards on areas such as food labeling, digital technology, and telecommunications now play a key role in economic growth, similar to roads, ports, and power systems. While standards help reduce trade barriers, the report warned they are also used as hidden trade restrictions. These non-tariff measures now affect about 90% of global trade, up from just 15% in the late 1990s. The World Bank noted that many developing countries are poorly represented in global standard-setting bodies because of limited funding and technical capacity. On average, they take part in less than one-third of ISO technical committees. To address this, the bank proposed a step-by-step approach: adapt standards to local needs, align with global rules and capacity growth, and eventually help write new standards. The goal, it said, is to use standards as tools for growth, competitiveness, and poverty reduction. Finally, sports. Mali will face Tunisia on Saturday, January 3, 2025 at 19:00 GMT in the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations Afcon 2025. Mali reached the knockout stage after finishing second in Group A behind Morocco, drawing all three group matches against Zambia 1-1, Morocco 1-1 and Comoros 0-0. Tunisia also finished second in Group C behind Nigeria with 4 points from 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss. Historically, the two teams have met 13 times. Tunisia holds the advantage with 6 wins, and while Mali has won 4 matches and 3 games ended in draws. Next are the most recent weather forecast from the region. That's it for the hour. POA wishes all a happy new year. Thank you for watching and goodbye.